The long research paper. Okay, so this is the pinnacle of Comp 2. This is the reason why people across the country take Comp 2 is to prove that they can do a long research paper. So this is the biggest points that you're going to make in this class. This is whenever a lot of people try to plagiarize. I just like in the assignment sheet, I highly recommend that you don't. And so because it is a very challenging essay for most people because it is a longer essay. And I've left the argumentative essay stuff up on the board because essentially you're going to use about the same strategy with this essay, okay? You're writing a long research paper that takes an angle. And what I mean by that is you're trying to prove a side of an argument. You're not necessarily going 100% as far as this side is right, this side is wrong, but you do have an angle. You're saying this is what we need to do. This is the right course of action. This is where we need to go with this information. You need to have an angle. It should not just be an essay about, George Washington was the first president of the United States. Let me tell you more about George Washington. There's books out there, that's not what we want. We need a thesis statement that makes a claim, and you're going to need to prove that claim. It's a lot like the argumentative essay, just a lot longer. You will have to provide enormous amounts of context because you're going to do a lot of research. So you need to provide your reader with a lot of in-depth information about this subject. This subject is that you're going to choose. This can be any subject that you like. I give you some examples of things you may want to do on the assignment sheet, but really there's not a lot of restrictions on this. Please don't do aliens. I've said it, okay? Don't do aliens. Don't do aliens. And let's not do one about aliens or marijuana. Okay, I've read those a lot. But everything else is absolutely up for grabs. So you can do any topic you want to do. Make sure that you're writing an argument that is going to be clear throughout the entire essay. Now, this is going to be a longer essay. This is 8 to 12 pages, and you're going to have a lot of citations at the end in your works cited. Of course, that does not count for the page requirement, so that's 8 pages worth of text, and then whatever else you have in your works cited, that doesn't count as far as the length requirement, but you do have to have a lot of sources. I don't give you an exact amount of sources that you have to use in this essay, but my recommendation is to shoot for somewhere between 8 to 12 sources. It's an 8 to 12 page paper. Generally, 8 to 12 sources is what a person needs. So you may use more than that, you may use fewer than that, but I've never seen a person do well if they use fewer than 8 or 7 sources. And if you're just using 7 or 8 sources, they better be really good sources that you use very well and very effectively. Most people use about 10. So you're going to do a lot of research. And you have an enormous amount of time to do this essay. That means you have barely just enough time. You have barely just enough time to get this essay done. And so don't let this slip by. Don't let this be, of course, we don't have a class meeting. This is just something that's online. And so it's easy to let this one go. Don't let this happen to you. So make sure to try to figure out today you're hopefully watching this on the first day possible, and you're like, okay, I'm going to write this essay, I'm going to figure out a topic. I recommend that you brainstorm, cluster, or free write, things that we remember back from Comp 1. Really try to think about, okay, what is it that I'm interested in? If you try to choose a topic that you're not interested in, it's going to be a long month. It's just going to be awful. So try to choose a topic that you're interested in. I usually recommend that a person chooses a topic that has something to do with your major, or has something to do with something you already know a lot about and you're going to know even more about. Now, remember that you're writing to a general audience, but this audience is somewhat aware of your essay topic. So you're still going to have to provide context. You'll have to provide in-depth information so that your audience can follow what you're going to propose. You will have an argumentative portion to this essay because it is going to push an agenda of some kind, and you are going to have to overcome an objection or two that your audience may have to whatever it is that your thesis statement is. So you're going to have to do essentially all the same things that you did in the argumentative essay. It's just that you're providing me a lot more in-depth information, And you don't have to choose a, two sides and that's it type of an argument. You can make a statement and prove it. But you have to prove a statement. You have to make a claim. It can't just be like the expository essay. It needs to be something that is saying this is essentially what we should do as a society, okay? The book and the focus of this class is contemporary issues. So I want you to choose a contemporary issue, something that we are currently facing as a nation or as a planet, and work with that. Now, there is the option also if you want to look at a historical figure or a historical event and take a stance on it that is not the typical stance, you can do that as well. But remember, I don't want just to read a long history book. I want you to give me information, then I want you to tell me why this is the slant you're taking on it, which is different than the typical slant that history would record. If you have questions on this, let me know. Make sure before you start to read the entire essay assignment sheet. And if you have questions, of course, I am here. Good luck.